Okay, so now if you will, get in groups of 3 or 4, and we will get started looking at natural disasters. So towards the end of class, you're going to start working on your natural disaster project. But before you decide which natural disaster your group is going to do a project over, I want you to understand some of the similarities and differences between some of the natural disasters. So in your group, we're going to be making a thinking map. Now, I know this may look like two little bugs on the water, but this is a double bubble map. So you're going to have two main circles here. And from each circle, there's 3 individual bubbles. There. And then the 2 main bubbles share 2 bubbles here. So what you're going to do on your natural disaster thinking map is compare and contrast 2 natural disasters. So your first natural disaster will go here, and the second one will go here. Now, the 3 individual bubbles that come off of each main bubble are going to be the traits that make that natural disaster unique. So unique traits such as a volcanic eruption is unique because it involves lava and magma coming from the earth. And there aren't many other natural disasters that involve that. So that's a unique trait of the volcanic eruption. So I'm going to do an example for you, just very brief, and we're going to be comparing and contrasting. Let's do an earthquake, and so I'll put earthquake here. And we'll compare the earthquake with a hurricane. So we've got an earthquake and a hurricane. So we could either start with what makes them unique, or we can talk about what they have in common. Let's talk about what they have in common. So what do we know about earthquakes and hurricanes? Well, they can both be measured. They both have some sort of scale to measure their intensity. The earthquake can be measured by the intensity of the vibrations that are involved in the earthquake, and then the hurricane can be measured by the forces of the winds. So we'll say they can both have a scale. So we put that in the bubble that they share. Okay, so let's think of something that is unique to an earthquake that's not unique to a hurricane. Let's see. Oh, the earthquake is known for the ground trembling. That may happen with a hurricane, but not quite like the earthquake. So the earthquake is unique for its ground shaking and trembling. Okay. So what about a hurricane? What is the unique identifying trait of a hurricane that an earthquake doesn't have? What about high winds and heavy rain? So we'll put high winds and heavy rain here. Okay, so for the earthquake, we'll have 3 unique traits to the earthquake, and for the hurricane, you'll have 3 unique traits for the hurricane. The 2 bubbles that they share need to be what the 2 natural disasters have in common. So I've shown you one example. Now in your group, I want you to pick 2 natural disasters. I ask that you do not choose earthquake and hurricane. And I would like to see, I'll give you 10 minutes. You can use any of the technology that you have to find traits that are similar between the two natural disasters that you have and 3 unique identifying traits to each natural disaster. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 total unique traits and then 2 that they have in common. I'll give you 10 minutes. Ready, go. Okay, we're going to get started on our matching activity. So you are already seated in groups of 4. So in your group, I've handed you a baggie. And in that baggie, if you'll take everything out, we're going to make sure you have everything you need. So in the bag, there should be 6 functions, 6 graphs, and 6 data tables. So remember, graphs look like this. Data tables look like this, and your functions are going to look something like this. They may not be exactly that, but you should have 6 of each. Okay? So once your group has made certain that they have 6 of each type, we're going to do a matching activity. So shuffle up the graphs and the data tables and the functions amongst the people in your group. And we're going to try to use what we know about exponential growth and exponential decay functions to match the 3 together. So what you're going to do is look at a function and decide which graph goes with that function, or you may decide to choose the data table first because you can plug it into the function and then check to see which graph matches up with those data tables. It's completely up to you. But you're going to be matching a graph, a data table, and a function together that all represent the same values. When all of the functions and graphs and data tables are matched in the 6 groups, then raise your hand and we will come check them.